Hey everybody, this is your Detroit Phantom, and just start off, make sure you go to my X page and give me a follow. Now, today we talk about the Tigers, obviously, and in today's game was not a good game. It was a pitching duel. The offense was not there today, and as we can see, we lost 1-0 in 10 innings after a 6-game winning streak, after sweeping the Marlins and the Royals, which was awesome. And especially because we need that after we got swept by the Twins. Now, one of the things I didn't like in the last game against the Royals, obviously, was our bullpen, and thankfully we won that last game after all those delays. But Scott Harris keeps getting bailed out time after time, and until this bullpen costs us, Scott Harris is still going to keep doing what he's doing. Now, the majority of what he's doing is mediocre, I think, because what big bet did he go and get? He got us Valdez, which was a very good signing, and that's pretty much about it. Obviously, he brought in Kenley Jansen, who was awesome, but other than that, he got guys from the minor leagues and other countries to come and play. Drew Anderson, I'm not a huge fan of him. He cost us some games already, and he needs to get off this team. And so today I'll be going through what has cost us in these games and what we can do better or what we can look for in the future. So obviously Parker Meadows is most likely done for the season because he had surgery on his left forearm, his dominant forearm. And so that's going to take him out of commission for a while. So obviously we have other guys to bring up. We brought Perez already. And with McKinstry on the injured list, we brought up How You Lee. Now, unfortunately, in today's game against one of the worst teams in baseball, we could not even get a single run across. Now, as you can see, our away record is not good at all. We're 2-9. Now, there are teams who have been good at home and not away, such as the 2019 Chicago Cubs, who just missed out on the playoffs, but they still had 88 wins. Um, and obviously there was the 87 Twins who were terrible away, but it's like I don't understand what the difference is. But obviously that's why they call it home field advantage. Um, Obviously because we are very good at home, we just can't seem to win a single game on the road. And for games like this, where we can only push across 2 or 3 hits, that's why we need a big bat. Okay. It doesn't even need to be a power hitting bat because we have guys who can get on base. We have guys who do get on base, but they just can't score. Now, that's kind of why I wanted Luis Arias. Obviously, no power there, but he is a contact hitter. Now, as we've seen in today's game, we had guys in scoring position, but we just couldn't score. And honestly, that is not a good sign. And all it takes is one hit to bring the guys in. And we had that in the first inning. We had that in the ninth inning. Baez got on base. He tried stealing second, but he just could not. He barely got out. Boston challenged the original safe call, and it got overturned. And that was honestly the best play for us to do because we had to get someone in scoring position. So I really don't fault Hinch for sending Baez. Anyways, obviously Hao Lee, an infielder, um, decent in the minors, 16 home runs at AAA last year, 243 batting average. So, nothing necessarily spectacular, but a guy who can definitely give you at bats. Today was his debut and didn't have a hit. He flew out a couple times, grounded out, struck out. And like I said, like we had Dingler on base, we had Baez, we had McGonagall on base, Jermaine Jones, uh, 10th inning, I believe. Um, got McGonagall over to third from first with a double and with a double to the left field by the Green Monster. And unfortunately, because of how Fenway is built, a double to the Green Monster will not probably score a run from first. And that's what we're seeing with McGonagall staying at third. Unfortunately, we could not get McGonagall in. Or else it we might have won at that point, obviously. But we just couldn't score. Um, Great move to put Yoshida in for the Red Sox. Now, obviously Torres, he's having a slow year so far. Gongo, great. Jermaine Jones, a little down, but he's got some pop in his bat. Dingler, I'm not too worried about Dingler because he's honestly right now a best hitter. Um, all around hitter. Matt Veling, he needs to get back up to speed. Riley Green pinched hit after not being in today's lineup. Obviously, he is pretty good. Tied the game for us yesterday. Perez won this game the other night against the Royals, but he's off to a very slow start. That home run the other night was his only hit of the season. Torkelson, I don't even know what to say with Torkelson. Torkelson has got to get it together. Lee, I'm gonna give him pass. Simply because it was his debut today. And so yeah. Baez, honestly, not bad in the field or at the plate. Pitching was excellent today. Mize started the game. Uh, we got Finnegan. Finnegan's doing really good for us so far. Brent Herter always gives us innings. He only did one. Only got one out today. Vest is obviously good. Had a rough starting to um the season, but overall, these are honestly our best, some of the best bullpen guys that we have, obviously. Um, and honestly, at the deadline to get a bat, this is what I always wanted. I always wanted us to package some guys to get a bat for us. Like I said, it doesn't need to be a power guy. It just needs to be somebody who can get a hit. Like I said, Luis Arias, some of the speedy guys lay down a bunt, blah blah blah, stuff like that. Um, because we have guys, like I said, we have guys who get a base, but we just can't score 'em. And obviously, we all know Torkelson's batting average with guys in scoring position not very good, and that is a problem. But originally, I was going to have a potential trade with McKinstry involved, Veerling involved, and some other guys to get a decent bat. But that with McKinstry injured, that doesn't look like it's going to be happening anytime soon. So yeah. But if you want to turn the season around, uh, honestly, it. I would rather do it sooner than later, simply because by the trade deadline, it might be a little too late. Now, I know it's really early in the season, obviously, only 20 games so far, and we're at 500, but we are third in the division, and we just really got to pick it up. Obviously, a 6 game winning streak is awesome, but even then, against the Royals, 2 of the games, actually all 3 games, we came back. Um, the first 2 games we came back from a smaller deficit. In the finale against Kansas City, after Perez hit that 3-run shot to give them 2-0 lead, we came back in dramatic fashion, which was always a good thing, but our bullpen had blew it that day. And let's see what we got here. So, once again, losing to a bad team like the Red Sox, not a good thing to do. Um, Obviously, we have the Red Sox again tomorrow at 4 o'clock. And hopefully with Schoolboy on the mound, uh we can get the win because we need a win whenever he's out there. We're facing Bello. Obviously he's kind of young, younger guy, and we need to do something against him. Because we really cannot lose against pitchers who are not as distinguished. Now, School being 2-2, that's kind of crazy. He has deserved one of those losses. I believe it was the Twins game, but even then, our offense didn't get going, so that was kind of tough. But if we want to win against teams who are ahead of us, like the Twins, and even honestly, even Cleveland, who doesn't seem to be that hot right now, even though they had a no hitter going through to the ninth inning yesterday against the Orioles, we really need to do something about the hitting. So yeah, uh, the Twins is Schoolboy's really only loss, simply because he allowed 4 runs. His other loss came against the Diamondbacks when he only gave up 1 run, but we didn't even score 1 run. And unfortunately, that's obviously what we're probably gonna be seeing a lot if something is not made. If a move if is not made this season, and obviously he'll probably be gone. Now regarding Scooble, I'd rather keep him until the end of the year. Unless we are totally out of it at the trade deadline, simply because we're probably not gonna get much for him at this point. You know, not like when we had a shot to trade him for other guys, multiple guys a few years ago with Baltimore and Miami and a couple other places, even the Dodgers. Um, you know, so like I said, if we're in it, great, keep them. If we're not, then we just have to see at that point. But this Tigers team seems like it's going to be really, really streaky. Win a couple games and then go on a 4 game losing streak, then go on a 6 game losing streak and a winning streak, and so on and so on. Um, yeah, obviously we have Emmanuel De Jesus, which is he gives us innings. Um, Obviously not the best, but he's better than June Anderson, obviously. And earlier this season, I was talking about how, not seeing Anderson make this team, unless we had the injuries and stuff like that. But I mean, 7.20 ERA, that's kind of insane. Okay. Um, Emmanuel De Jesus, like I said, gave us a couple innings. 5.40 ERA. So definitely not spectacular. Finnegan, Finnegan, local kid, that's really cool. Now Flaherty. Flaherty, I said he was going to have a bounce back year this year, and so far he's been mediocre. Obviously, he's been very mid. And yeah, and he is going to have his ups and downs as always. But hopefully more ups and downs, and compared to last year where he just couldn't get anything going. And the most he allowed was 5 runs. That was against his former team. And yeah, I mean we still won that game. He didn't get the win obviously. Uh, but yeah. And then he only allowed 1 run against the Twins, which he lost. 2 runs against the Padres. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be a long season if we can't get a hitter or two. Now, obviously, unfortunately, there's gonna be some more injuries coming down. Montero has been really good for Verlander, obviously. One of the other guys I'm not too crazy about is Connor Seabold. Now, even though he has a small ERA and everything like that, I don't know what it is. Every time he's out there, you never know what you're gonna get. He has a higher whip. So, uh, we just have to see how he goes. Now, one of the guys who can put in a trade would probably be Jake Rogers. Simply because obviously we have minor leaguers who can come up who aren't exactly prospects. Obviously we have Tyrone Lorenzo, um, who's somewhat of a prospect coming from the Dodger system. Um, and kind of ease him into the catching duties. Or at least, designated hitter. Because I heard his defense is not that good. Infielders, Keith obviously really good. Lee, I haven't seen much from him. Obviously, McGonigal is great. Torkelson, not the best at first. But what you can do there? Torres, he only plays second. That's why he didn't sign with the Yankees a couple years back. Bias, infielder slash outfielder. Um, he's good wherever you put him, honestly. Carpenter. Carpenter's cool with the bat, just not in the field. The other day, I seen him um try to make a play with his glove, and he just totally missed it. Totally missed it. He allowed some runs, or at least a triple, and yeah, and it's just he needs to stay at designated hitter or put him. I don't know, just not in the field. Riley Green, obviously left field. Um, so yeah, I mean, like you said, package some of the guys and get a batter. Um, I'll even be down for, unfortunately, a first baseman. Because Torkelson is having a rough year so far. Obviously we haven't really seen an early trade. Um, it's been a while. Since before Scott Harris took over. When we got Austin Meadows. And we all seen how that played out. It was great at the time, but then it just didn't do so good. Um, let's see here. Obviously McGonagall getting that contract for the next 8 years is awesome. We really need him. Um, and he's gonna be a great franchise player. And hopefully we can keep some of our other guys like Green. Um, Dingler, obviously, maybe even Carpenter because he's just good with the bat. Torkelson only if he gets picked, only if he picks his game up. Um, some of our pitchers. But yeah, Red Sox, Brewers, we really need to win these next three, or at least split the series for sure. But and then the Brewers come in. These teams aren't aren't easy. Um, Especially if we want to win our division. I really thought that the Twins series would have gone a lot better, but obviously that didn't work out so good. Obviously in the away games, we just haven't been able to do anything about it. I mean, everything is just totally different by a large margin. Um, yeah, we scored 12 more runs, in the same amount of games now. Um, and some of the things are close, but I mean, come on, one home run in away games. We've played 10, 11 away games, 11 away games now, and we only have one home run. That's actually insane. Our batting average is very different by many points, 64 points. That's embarrassing, obviously. OBP is different. Slugging, OPS. It's like, come on. Like, what are we doing? Um, but yeah, we just simply need to pick this stuff up. And thankfully, um, unfortunately, on Apple TV, they were showing tonight's game, and I wasn't too worried about that. But thankfully, there's only three games on Apple TV this season for the Tigers, unless they change things around. It was against the Red Sox tonight, and another one would be against the Blue Jays, but that one is gonna be in Detroit. Um, I forget who the other one is, but yeah. Um, and we just really need to pick this up. There was a stat the other day where we went like 6 straight games with our starting pitchers going at least 5 and 2/3 with only allowing 1 run or less in 6 consecutive starts. And we didn't do that since like '08 or '06, and that was pretty impressive. And I don't think that Valdez's start against the Twins the other day was indicative of anything to come, simply because is a very good pitcher. We've seen that. Everybody's seen that, and I think the Twins just got a hold of him and didn't let up. All the Twins just might be built different, obviously, because they scored that against Valdez, and obviously they scored 4 against Scoble, which isn't insane. But yeah, they're 11-9 right now. They're top of the division. Cleveland's second. Um, but yeah, obviously Kansas City's bullpen is terrible. And obviously we cannot lose to the White Sox. And I'm not a big fan of division trading. Um, I think that's kind of really hard to do. Um, but honestly, if Chicago has a couple bats, if we can go to them and see who they have. Um, and another thing, if we go down with one more outfielder, who's going to come up? If Veland goes down again, if Green goes down, Carpenter goes down, who comes up? Is it Max Clark? Now, I know with rookies, we're trying to manipulate their time so we can hold them, to have them obviously longer. But what's the move going to be? And obviously, he had a rough spring training as far as fielding goes. Um, but um, today he had a home run, his first home run in Triple A, and that was fun. Bryce Rayner had like 450-foot home run this past week in the minors. So that was obviously awesome. Um, but yeah, Kevin Gongo is ready. Uh, one of the things that I haven't really liked about what the Tigers have done this season, obviously the bullpen, but also uh, the challenging the pitches. They haven't done it when we needed them to do so. And if you get it wrong, you get it wrong. But if you're down four, what do you have to lose? If you're down three, what do you have to lose, and so on. Especially with players like McGonagall, how often has he been called out on pitches that weren't even strikes? And since he didn't challenge him, he struck out, right? Um, so that's something that they have to work on is knowing which ones to challenge. Obviously, McGonagall has the best strike zone, or the best discipline on the team. And if he doesn't swing normally, it's very borderline or it's a ball. And that's like I said, that's one thing we have to work on is challenging the strike zone. Now, we really need to see a big difference tomorrow against the Red Sox. Hopefully, since Bello is pitching, we get to see, yeah, we probably get to see Carpenter, obviously. Probably get to see Green, most likely. Um, yeah, Colt Keith, all those guys, and hopefully we can pull this off. One of the things that was crazy to me was the fact that we couldn't, a couple series ago, score more against Chris Paddock. I honestly thought that was embarrassing, simply because he's a terrible pitcher. And originally, when we got him last year, I liked him, especially because he was decent. With the Twins, nothing spectacular, but he was amazing with the Padres. Um, when he was younger, and I thought we got something there. I wasn't too happy about the Justin Henry Malloy trade. We only received cash, which I think is most time a stupid trade. Simply because you always should get something in return, even if it's somebody who you don't think is gonna make it. You know. So yeah. Obviously we've seen Holton pitch. It's interesting to me how guys in different roles, um, how they, what am I looking for here? I'm looking for roster. How they act, how they pitch, how they play, and that's something that we've seen. I think with Holton is he can be somebody who comes in and saves the game, or he can come in, uh, and give us some innings. Um, yeah, obviously he's been really good. He's only allowed one run so far, and that was a home run against Kansas City. And I think that was blown save. Yeah, that was the Huraz home run, I believe. Uh, so yeah, it was tough. And just some of the other things is like I understand you want to take your guys out, like if Montero is going, even if he's at 90 pitches with guys on base, he's better than Drew Anderson. He's better than Emmanuel De Jesus. The only, yeah, those are like the, or he, I would honestly even say he's better than Connor Seabold. You know, those are the three guys that don't work. Um, Obviously Anderson being the worst out of all three of those guys, but we need guys to come up and do good. Like even if Ty Madden can get his stuff together in the minors, that would be such a great thing. Because he was obviously a prospect with the other guys coming up. But yeah, we need to get this done tomorrow and win this series. We got three more games left against the Red Sox. And one more thing, here's my YouTube page. I already have videos out. It's been a couple weeks since I posted. Has it actually been a month? That's on me. But yeah, now I'm back to it. And obviously we have the Pistons on Sunday, as the first seed. And yeah, that should be a good game. So